Building Ideas is proudly brought to you by the Master Builders Association.
We got ideas,
Building ideas,
a whole new direction.
building ideas,
It's time for change.
building ideas,
Dreaming is over.
building ideas,
Building ideas, gonna build it from the heart. Gonna show you how to make a start. We got ideas,
building
ideas.
ideas,
You want some building ideas? We got some building ideas.
Hello and welcome to Building Ideas. Today we're in the leafy eastern suburbs and this luxurious home is the one that we're going to be showcasing for the next half an hour. And I have to say it's very impressive because that was my initial reaction when I first walked through the gates. In fact, I just thought, wow, it's architecturally bold, it's so strong, and inside it's very luxurious. And when I say wow, we know who must have built it, the king of the wow factor, Alan Shepherd Constructions. Alan Shepherd Constructions has an impressive portfolio of homes they've built right across South Australia and an equally impressive lineup of happy clients, which really does speak leagues when it comes to building. Before we delve any further into the home though, let's have a look what else is on today's show. We'll hear from Homestart Finance about how you can get into your first home from as little as $3,000. Yes, you heard right, I said $3,000. We'll catch up with the team from the Master Builders Association to find out about building industry apprenticeships, and we'll have an interesting segment about pond construction. I'm looking forward to the pond segment. I've got a pond at home and it's absolutely fundamental that you get it right from the start so there's no leaks and any other issues. And you certainly wouldn't have any leaks or issues if you build a home like this one with Alan Shepherd Constructions, that's for sure. Usually when people build a home of this calibre, they have a fairly specific list of inclusions. What they like, what they want, and how they want their home to look. The owners of this home were no different. Their wish list included that their new home be low maintenance, secure, private and luxurious, and able to accommodate a growing family. Simplicity and strong, bold lines were paramount, as was a fairly heavy focus on contemporary living. Alan always invites his clients to be heavily involved throughout the entire building process, right from the design stage through to the actual construction phase. As you can imagine, this was a pretty major building project. First of all, they had the demolition of the original house, and then they had to prepare the site for this awe-inspiring split-level home. And would you believe they actually had to stop building for a while because they discovered an underground well. And that's the thing about building and construction, you never know what you're going to find. Now, I'd like to find a big pot of money, help pay for the renovation. Now, speaking of lots of money, well, Terry is going to chat with the experts from Cbus who are going to help you grow your financial future.
You're absolutely right, Nicole. Cbus are definitely the ones to talk to when it comes to any plans you might have about your future or your retirement, or plans you may not have. You see, it's very easy to get caught up in the moment, especially when you work for yourself. There's not enough hours in the day to get the things that you need to get done now, let alone to think about the future. But thankfully, that's where Cbus can help.
As part of their suite of products, they have a sole trader super option.
Martha, it's a pretty common career choice for the industry, isn't it? Someone becomes qualified, does an apprenticeship, maybe works for someone, and then they go and start their own gang, yeah?
You're right, Terry. There are thousands of sole traders operating throughout South Australia. Just to be clear, a sole trader is a business owner that has no employees. They don't have to pay payroll tax, no obligation to make super contributions or workers' compensation on the income that they draw from their business. Their income fluctuates week on week, month on month, and if they don't work, they don't get paid.
So if you're self-employed and operate as a sole trader, you could be eligible for a tailored super product, including insurance cover to protect you against a raft of issues that may crop up.
It operates exactly the same way as our industry super fund from a fees and an investment perspective. Where it differs is the insurance offer. It's really easy to set up and you can do that online. And if you're eligible, you can receive insurance cover purely by answering a few short questions.
Cbus's Sole Trader product helps you to put measures in place to protect you and minimise your risk if you get sick or injured. The cover is 24/7 too, so you're covered for accidents outside of work as well.
Our insurance is specifically designed for our members. We have 3 occupation categories for our death and total and permanent disablement insurance, and 3 occupation categories for our income protection. This covers and suits all the risks of the different occupations throughout the industry. Our income protection provides our members with a choice of either a 30 or a 90-day waiting period and a benefit period of either 2 or 5 years. And they can choose from accident-only insurance or accident and illness cover. The super account covers the cost of the insurance premiums, so there's no need to go into your budget to try and make ends meet. It's so handy having your insurance premiums come out of your super and not your take-home pay, and this can help with personal cash flow. And it gives your family peace of mind knowing that you're covered should the unforeseen occur in illness or injury. Cbus have made it easier for our members, so now you can open a super account online and sort your insurance out, all by jumping onto our website.
Well, it all sounds pretty good to me. Cbus is definitely the way to go. Martha and the whole team are ready and waiting to help you with your financial plans for your future so you can get back to work, worrying about the here and now. Visit cbussuper.com.au today. You heard the lady.
Building ideas, we got some building ideas. You want some building ideas, we got some building ideas.
A beautiful garden can really transform your home and bring with it a whole different appeal. And so too can water, whether you're going to add a pool, it might be a water feature, or it might be a tranquil pond, which brings us to our next story. Konnichiwa. I'm at the Japanese Gardens, and this is the perfect example of creating peace and tranquility. Naturally, the size and style of your home will play an integral part on the type of pond you're likely to want to install. And there's quite a few different ways you can go about building a pond. One thing's for certain, you're definitely going to have to dig a hole, and you'll need to line that hole. Before I get too carried away about the size and the plant life, and including fish, it's probably a good idea to speak with an expert and someone who's had lots of experience with ponds and what's required. It's Kim Cirrus. So Kim, what steps need to be taken to make sure a man-made pond doesn't leak?
Well, Nicole, it's interesting when we look at dams. The traditional dam was lined with a clay and a bentonite clay which stopped water from seeping through. And I suppose when we look in nature, billabongs are probably the dams when they're down the bottom of a depression, and often they're clay lined too. But in your own home, you've got precast fiberglass ponds you can buy, or, of course, there are liners of rubber and PVC.
I know as soon as I included plants in my pond, it really enhanced the overall look. Do you think we should stick with something that's South Australian?
Interestingly, you might think that South Australia being the driest state in the driest inhabited continent, there wouldn't be a lot of aquatic plants, but there are plenty of local sedges and flaxes that do grow. But I'd suggest that heading to your local garden centre, you'll find plenty of aquatic plants that will do brilliantly in a home garden or pond.
I would highly recommend installing a pond at your house. I know for me, it's changed the whole look of the place. It's added that sense of peace and tranquility. It's brought the birds to the garden, and it really is that easy to get one installed. You just look up mbasa.com.au, look under the Find a Builder section, and voila, they're more than happy to help you.
The Find a Builders section is a great resource if you're looking for a builder or a tradie. But what if you want to become a builder or a tradie like Liam here? Well, I've got the answer, and guess what? It all leads back to the Master Builders Association.
Established way back in 1884, master builders and tradies have been building our great state for over 134 years. It's fair to say I think there'd be a lot of satisfaction in knowing you were responsible for or helped build some of our most iconic buildings. In fact, regardless if you build on a big commercial scale or on a residential level, I think having the expertise to build or renovate anything is pretty cool. Add to this that the majority of builders or tradies I know not only drive nice cars, but also live in pretty schmick houses and seem to enjoy a great lifestyle as well. Seems to me it's a great career choice.
So where do you start? And I'm thinking an apprenticeship is the way to go. And that's why we're here with Ben Morgan from the Master Builders Association to tell us how exactly to get started with your apprenticeship with the Master Builders Association. Over to you, Ben. What are the first steps?
Well, firstly, there needs to be a passion or a strong interest in the building industry. There's many different pathways that our apprentices have taken in order to get an apprenticeship. Some may do a Doorways to Construction program at their high school. Some may do a pre-vocational course through a registered training organisation. Some may just have on-site work experience doing different tasks on site within different trades. Some may have no experience at all, but just looking at entering the building industry.
What are the benefits of undertaking an apprenticeship through the Master Builders Association?
As an apprentice, when we employ them, we're a group training organisation, so we're the employer, but they do their on-the-job training with a variety of different hosts. So they're not doing their 4 years of training with one person. We have host employers that are trained, qualified, insured and have the work health safety systems in place, and they do their on-the-job training with them. Those host employers work in different, say, residential or commercial environments, so they're not going to get locked down into one area. They get to see the full scope of their trade.
All right, so an apprenticeship through the Master Builders Association gives variety.
Yep.
What are the benefits if you are one of those employers that take on an apprentice?
As we're the employer, we have that 4-year contract. So a host may have a busy job they need to complete. So they're able to pick and choose what year level apprentice they want, and they can also determine how long they want that apprentice for. As their employer as well, we look after their return to work, their uniform, their PPE, all their sick leave, all their leave entitlements.
So it's fair to say then if you have an interest or want to make some inquiries about becoming an apprentice in the trade, that the Master Builders Association should be your first port of call. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, that's correct. We have online application systems, so on our Master Builders website, candidates can go on, upload their details, upload their CV and apply like that.
Ben, thank you very much for your time. If you've got an interest or want to know more about becoming an apprentice, you should visit mbasa.com.au today and make that the first step in your journey.
Building ideas, we got some building ideas. You want some building ideas, we got some building ideas.
The first steps of getting into the homeowners market is a very, very exciting time. But when you are sitting down calculating all those upfront costs, it can seem like a daunting project. Well, I'm going to let you in a little secret, something that might just change all of that. What if you could get into the homeowners market for as little as $3,000? Do you like the sound of that? If you do, turn your volume up now. Instead of buying a block of land and then finding a builder to build your home, a house and land package which bundles it all together might just be the way to go. House and land packages are a good way to reduce upfront costs because you only pay stamp duty on the land value, not the house. And as a first home buyer, there are other certain benefits you might be eligible for. Someone who's across all this and can simplify the whole process is Andrew Mills from Homestart Finance. Andrew, it definitely sounds too good to be true. Tell me a little bit more. Can you really get into a home for as little as $3,000?
Well, it's all part of Homestart's mission of making home ownership a reality for more people in more ways. And yes, it could be possible to get into home ownership for as little as $3,000, which is essentially the same as a lounge suite and a TV.
How do you offset upfront costs?
There's 3 ways that we can do that for first home buyers particularly. Firstly, Homestart can lend up to 97% of the value of a house and land package. Secondly, if you're a first home buyer, you can take advantage of the state government's $15,000 grant for building a new home. And finally, if you build your new home with a house and land package through Homestart, then there's the potential that you can take advantage of a builder's contribution of up to $10,000. We have partnerships with all of the major builders across Adelaide, including all of the major brand names that you'd be familiar with from visiting display villages. Now that $10,000 can go towards covering interest and costs while your home's being built. Now what that means is, while your home's being built for up to 9 months or until your house is completed, you may not need to make any repayments on your loan. Now that's great news for home buyers because it means if you're renting, potentially you don't need to be paying rent and making loan repayments at the same time.
That's pretty impressive. Tell me, how many first home buyers has Homestart helped with this initiative?
We help around 1 in 6 first home buyers in South Australia, and we've helped over 70,000 families since Homestart started nearly 30 years ago. So in the last 12 months, Homestart's lent more than $100 million to people building a home through one of our house and land packages. Now these are people who are building houses right across the Adelaide metropolitan area, from towards Gawler in the north, down towards Seaford in the south, and out towards Mount Barker in the hills as well. So there's a great range of locations and choices of housing that people can pick from.
So if you want to start the journey to buying your first home, you should chat with the team at Homestart Finance. Visit homestart.com.au.
As Terry mentioned, a home loan from Homestart Finance would give you your first slice of paradise. And okay, a home like this would be a slice of heaven. And if you need any reminding, we're back in today's show home, built by Alan Shepherd Constructions. With an elevated street position and contemporary design across the wide block face, this home commands curbside appeal. Square set finishes throughout, complemented by fresh light tones, have enabled this homeowner to create the exact look and feel that they wanted. A customised home theatre and various recreational and robe areas all combine to create this well-rounded family home. This stylish classic oak hardwood flooring that's been laid to the ground floor living areas creates a seamless flow throughout these main functional spaces, and the light patina of timber is beautifully enhanced by the crisp white colour scheme. All of the bedrooms, bar the guest suite, are located on the second level of the home, so they're far away from the main living areas, giving them both peace and privacy. The master suite, as you'd expect, is spacious and really quite luxurious too, especially with its divine ensuite. Then there's the cellar, which is just amazing. It includes a wine storage system that is specially sourced and painted black, which is highlighted by very cool contemporary track lighting. And a bonus for people that have got teenagers, it can only be accessed with a fingerprint. Oh, it's just gorgeous here. It's time for a quick break, but stay with us because I'm going to show you more of this gorgeous home. And Terry is going to have a chat with the team at Banner Mitre 10.
Building ideas, we got some building ideas. Building ideas, you want some building ideas. We got some building ideas.
Here are the facts. Whether you are a DIYer, whether you're into renovating, whether you're a tradie or you're in the building game, you've got to have the right tools. So when it comes to choosing your hardware, there are a lot of choices you can make. The one I make and the one I think's the best, Banner Mitre 10.
With a network of 10 sites, including 7 drive-through outlets across South Australia, and the fact they've been family owned and operated for close to 40 years, it means you're in good hands. Banner Mitre 10 manufacture their own roof and floor trusses and wall frames in their 2-frame and truss plants, so they can always deliver on time and make sure their customers are kept happy. They even have a trade priority delivery system in place, which is not only great if you're a builder, but also good if you're having some building work done, because it means your builder or tradie will be able to get to work without any hardware hold-ups. All of their 220 staff across their various sites have expert knowledge, and I reckon you'd be hard-pressed to find one that couldn't answer your hardware-related questions.
Matt, I've been having a wander around and the place is impressive. I've got to tell you, I didn't realise you offered so many services to builders and tradies.
Well, thanks, Terry. Yeah, we do. We specialise in all sorts of timber, building supplies, doors, door hardware, roofing, things like that.
Yeah. You're pretty much a one-stop shop for tradies, aren't you?
Yep, we are. We like to think so. We manufacture our own wall frames and trusses at our manufacturing plant, so that gives us an advantage.
And you put your tradies on a high priority with this 2-hour turnaround. How does that work?
Well, yeah, we have a 2-hour turnaround on our delivery services. Yep. Responsiveness is what we really try to hit, but most of all, it's about building relationships and having excellent customer service.
Well, I've got to say, if you're looking for somewhere to get your hardware stuff and people who know exactly what your needs are, visit the team at Banner Mitre 10. Bannerhardware.com.au, that's the website. Thank you very much.
Now, I heard you're a bit of a gardener. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind getting dirty. You know,
because I got something for you.
Have you?
Yep. I heard this was just your speed.
Right. That's how personal they are here at Banner Mitre 10. Well, actually, I reckon I could look all right with this, don't you reckon?
Absolutely.
You know where to find them, folks. Just a little bit of... Yeah, it is that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
right, okay.
I don't know any husband that hasn't got a to-do list, Terry. In fact, the list that I've kindly made for my husband just seems to be getting longer and longer. On the other hand, now, if you built a house with Alan Shepherd Constructions, All you'd have to do is just move in and relax because everything would be just how you planned it. The thing I love about this house is the abundance of light that just comes pouring in. Especially in the open plan living areas where the family spends a lot of their time. In fact, the way the home's been designed means direct afternoon sunlight from the west has been minimised to avoid unwanted heat transfer, while the southern and eastern sides of the home incorporate vast windows to take in the stunning views of the alfresco and pool areas. Added to this are the appealing asymmetrical canopies on the north-facing facade to prevent heat entering the living areas. I mentioned the stylish timber floors before, and I love the way that it's been repeated in the kitchen joinery. It just ties it all together beautifully. And look at this island bench. I mean, it's every woman's dream. It's beautifully oversized. It is so stylish, and the way it delineates between the workspace and the dining space is just perfect. The layout of the outdoor kitchen and the pool have been well thought out too and offer a lovely outlook to the main living areas and guest suite. There's no doubt that Alan Shepherd Constructions have built a very high calibre home here, and it's one that Alan and his team can be very proud of, and the owners too. They're going to enjoy living here for many, many years to come. If you'd like more inspiration, then you can pop onto the Alan Shepherd website, alanshepherd.com.au. And before we go, I'd like to show you what's on next week's show. We're taking a trip to the banks of the mighty Murray River to visit a brand new holiday residence built by Duthie Homes. Terry checks out some of the latest award-winning homes and renovations around the state. And we'll have an interesting segment about a renovation with a twist thanks to the History Trust. It's going to be another interesting show. And after looking around this home, I think my husband's to-do list has grown a little bit longer. We'll see you next week.
'Cause the master builder's got you covered. Building ideas, gonna build it from the heart. Gonna show you how to make a start. We got ideas,
Building
a whole
ideas.
new direction.
Building ideas.
We got some building ideas.
Building Ideas is proudly brought to you by the Master Builders Association.